Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
It's time now for Retrospect. Here is our Ravi Jayaseelan.
This week in Retrospect, we take it back to 1996, where people gear up for the 83rd edition of the Canadian Ladies Amateur Golf Tournament.
The 83rd edition of the Canadian Ladies Amateur is scheduled for August 12th to 16th at the North Battleford Golf and Country Club, and officials are expecting a top-notch field to compete for the Duchess of Connaught Trophy.
We always have a fairly high number of people come from out of the country too, maybe 10, 12, I don't know. The entries go into the national office and I haven't seen them yet, but it's quite a prestigious tournament, and all the top women golfers in Canada are clamoring to get here. If they make their provincial team, fine. If they don't make their provincial team, there'll be individual entries.
And while that list won't be known for a couple of weeks, it's expected Tracy Lipp of BC will be back to defend her title. Coley says the amateur is a great stepping stone to the LPGA.
Onco Jones was our champion a number of years ago, and she's on the tour. I worked on this amateur championship in 1986 when it was at Riverside in Saskatoon, and I know I spent quite a bit of time talking to Mr. and Mrs. Kurdick, and Tracy Kurdick is also on tour now. And there are several girls, like they get married, they change their names, but Gail Graham is another one. There are quite a number. Jennifer Wyatt. These are all girls that I have met at this championship, mind you, 10 years ago, but they're on the professional tour now, and you don't make it at the at that international level until you make it at the national level. So it really is going to be an excellent place to see great golf.
With just over a month to go, the big job falls in the hands of course superintendent Grant Sachin, but he said the course is looking good.
It's really come through nice. We have a couple greens that were a little shaky off the start, but just in the last week even, they're really filling in. So things are starting to come together.
The North Battleford course may not compare to a Glen Abbey or a U.S. Open course, but Sachin says it will be a good test of golf.
It's got some length, narrow fairways. You got to hit the fairways, and the rough isn't that long, but it's lush. So you got to hit it pretty straight. And then the greens. Everyone talks about our greens. They're always a little slick, always little undulations in there you don't seem to see, so it'll be a good test.
The week-long championship officially starts August the 11th. Keith Snellgrove, NewsHour Sports.
And in 2000, a fashion frenzy takes over Lashburn High School.
The supermodels of Lashburn High worked the runway Wednesday evening in an effort to raise funds for their graduation celebrations. Many money-generating ideas were tossed around before the graduating class voted in favor of a fashion show.
We haven't done a fashion show for about 5 years. We went into doing other things like garage sales and slave auctions, and then this year we decided that we wanted to go back to something a little bit more formal and a little bit that would include more of the community.
And attract support from the community they did. The show drew in close to $1,000, not to mention 165 spectators.
We've done really good, so I think we have something to be proud about.
Sponsorship came from such groups as the Lashburn Credit Union, Beaton Agencies, Lashburn Fine Foods, and Cornerstone Clothiers, who supplied the wares.
We like to do fundraising events for people because we like to help out the community, and we like to do things just also outside of Lloydminster, because there's a lot of people from outside Lloydminster that shop at the store as well.
Not only has the audience of the fundraiser here tonight been able to enjoy some wonderful fashions, there's also a group of dancers here showing off their talents.
Most of the dancers are our students from the high school, and what we wanted to do was include some of our talent here. We have a music program that we will have an evening of music next week on Wednesday, and our musicians have been recognized provincially, but our dancers haven't been, so we wanted to give them a bit of a spotlight as well.
The class of 2000 will be celebrating a chem-free grad, which they see as an opportunity to enjoy time together without the effects of drugs or alcohol.
We won't be drinking alcohol at all. There'll be no alcohol at the grad. It's a safe way. It's a good way to have a grad.
At Fashion Frenzy in Lashburn High School, Anne-Marie Blackburn, NewsHour.
And that's all for this week in Retrospect.
Retrospect is brought to you by Webb's Machinery. Find New Holland products at Webb's Machinery, your dealer in Vermilion, Vegreville, Lamont, Wainwright, St. Paul, and Consort.
And we'll have more primetime local news after the break.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
The Lloydminster Region Health Foundation announced the total raised at this year's Health Foundation Gala. Our Abby St. John has more.
I'm very happy to be joined here today by Stephanie Monroe with the Lloydminster Region Health Foundation. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Abby. I really appreciate it.
Of course, we love having you. Now, the 22nd Annual Health Foundation Gala took place, and it was quite a success off of the total that you raised. So can we first start talking about the gala this year, how it went, and kind of a little bit about that total that was raised?
Absolutely. So, the gala this year was every year it seems like we try and outdo ourselves a little bit more and try and come up with new and intricate ideas that are really going to wow our attendees so that, we really are. And it's an experience, right? It's an experience for those that are attending. A thank you to our loyal donors who support us on an ongoing basis. And obviously an evening and an opportunity to raise funds for healthcare in our community. So this year was an overwhelming success with raising over $403,000 to support healthcare in our community. Is it gives you a feeling of accomplishment, but yet a feeling just very humbling that we have a community that is so willing to step up time and time again for resources that are so desperately needed in our community.
Yes, for sure. That's definitely something that has stuck out to me since being here for a few years. And we may be a small community, but the $403,000 that you raised shows just how big of an impact this small community has. When it's needed, when we come together, it really shows just how strong Lloydminster is when it comes to fundraising. And obviously this gala has been going on for so many years, and it's such a great event for people to come out, dress up, have a good night. Now with this money raised, what will that money be going towards?
So it is going into our greatest need fund. And this year, some of those greatest needs include some upgrades for equipment at the Jubilee home. So we were able to purchase a new tub for the Jubilee home, some high flow oxygen beds, which really help decrease pressure sores. And for those with low mobility that can't necessarily turn themselves at some stages of life, that does happen. So these beds really do help decrease that in the need, I guess, or the effect of immobility for some of the aging population. So as well, we were able to purchase a portable bladder scanner for the Jubilee home, which is going to have a huge impact. A lot of times elderly do suffer from some urinary tract infections and retain fluid in their bladder. And right now, without having to be catheterized, they're having to go to the emergency department to have that scan done. So having one on site for them avoids the transportation of having to leave their home, because that Jubilee home is their home, right? And avoids all those other things, just to be able to have a nurse on site that's able to do that procedure right there for them and right there, and know exactly and be able to diagnose, call the doctor, see what the next steps are without having to be too invasive with a catheterization that's not necessarily needed. So, and the remainder of the funds after that will go into our greatest needs fund, which allows us on a daily basis. We get requests daily from different departments throughout the community, requesting, enhancing healthcare and different program needs and different equipment needs. And it allows us to be able to address some of those needs on a more urgent basis by building that greatest need fund up.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's fantastic that you guys were able to purchase that equipment and those beds for those who need it at the Jubilee home, because it is definitely going to improve their day-to-day life. And having that machine as well for the bladder scan is going to definitely improve their day-to-day life if there's someone who does have constant, regularly infections. That will definitely improve their quality for sure. Now for the gala, for people, if they want to kind of get ahead of next year, are there any plans going already for next year's gala?
So yeah, we pretty much just turn a page and turn the book and already get our plans started for next year. So, we couldn't do the things we do without our incredible sponsors. Obviously, Richardson's Jewelry is our title sponsor, and they've actually committed to next year as well. So we already know that they will be there to help support us. And as well as, Eggland, they're already on board for next year. We have a lot of IG Wealth Management already committed for next year. So we have a lot of loyal donors who are committed to our cause, who are ready. Like I said, we turn the page and we plan the next year, literally starting pretty much identically after gala. So I will not give away. We do have a theme chosen. We have an amazing gala committee, amazing group of volunteers, and our staff work tirelessly. We have an amazing board of directors who all help make events like this such a huge success, right? But none of it's possible without our community, the people that attend, our donors, our volunteers. But yeah, we are very excited about this year's theme, our next year's theme, and we do have a date picked out. So anyone who's attended the gala over the last 5 years, or if they're interested, just stay tuned. We will have a save the date coming out pretty soon with a little teaser about what the theme will be. And each year we try to make it a little more intricate and a little bit more different. Like I said, I kind of leave it up to the gala committee and our events team to, use their creativity, use their mind. At the end of the day, they run it by me, and I'm like, if you guys see the vision and you think it can work, then I'm sold. So, and I can't thank the amazing gala committee that we have enough, and the amazing event staff that we have enough, and just our community as a whole to be able to just come together time and time again for healthcare. But I always say this, Abby, and I know it gets so repetitive, but we all need healthcare. You need healthcare. I need healthcare. Our parents need healthcare. At the end of the day, everyone needs healthcare. From that very first breath you ever take until your very last, there's not going to be a point in your life when you aren't going to need the healthcare system. And so you always hope and you think in your mind that all the resources and all the equipment is going to be there, but sometimes it's not. And so that's where we come in to provide those enhancements and provide that innovative equipment that really makes a difference in patient care and in patients' lives.
Yes. Definitely. And you guys have proven that time and time again. And the community has really shown up as well. So they also see the hard work that you guys put in and everything that you do for the community just by showing up to the gala and supporting you guys through that. And it's amazing. And your gala committee has obviously proven themselves as well, as they've put on spectacular galas. And I know you will continue to do so. So thank you again for joining me. And I can't wait to hear more about next year's gala once you guys are finalized and get those details out into the public. So thank you again for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Abby. Have a great day.
That's all we have for news. Sports is next, but first here's a look at your closing market.
Today's oil prices are brought to you by First General Services.
The CPCA Pro Tour returned to the Cold Lake Agricultural Society for their second show of the year, and it was another exciting weekend for chuckwagon fans. Our Thomas Wildman has a wrap on the weekend.
There goes the horn and a quick start on the three-barrel. That is Roland Baptiste.
For the first time in a decade, the CPCA returned to Cold Lake. Logan Gore swept the day monies and Dash for Cash in Poundmaker, so all the other drivers were ready to make some ground in the standings. The standout in Cold Lake was DJ King, having the best times on day 1 and day 2, and the second best time on Championship Sunday. The great showing gave King the aggregate win in Cold Lake.
The horses kind of got back on track here this weekend and kind of safetied up a little bit, just about too much this on today, but they worked well. Yeah, so I was going to be happy with the horses, going to be happy with the crew for sure.
The great run for King has him sitting in third in the driver's standings, just behind Danny Ringette, who won the day money on Sunday, and Logan Gorst. King will hope to stay near the top of the standings and hopes to win his first CPCA championship.
Just keep running clean. I mean, at the end of the game, that's all it is. Just try to stay clean and then let the horses run out there hard on the track. But just got to get through the barrels clean, and then normally the rest takes care of itself.
Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
Lloydminster residents will have the chance to get some exercise for free tomorrow. Stacey Comer has more on the Yoga in the Park event.
We have a special guest joining us today on Primetime Local News. Joelle Fournier is here, and we're talking about an event, Joelle, that is free for everybody to attend tomorrow. So first of all, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Yoga in the Park is set to go tomorrow at Bud Miller Park, and this is something that is people can come out, just enjoy, take in the beautiful space that's out there. So can you tell me a little bit about the event itself?
Sure. So Yoga in the Park is going to be at 7 p.m. tomorrow, so Tuesday, at Bud Miller Park. We're going to be just outside of, kind of in between the BioClean Aquatic Center and the PSM, the Lawyers Park Center, and right in front of the water there. So it's a beautiful little grassy location for everyone to find us. Should be easy access from the parking lot, the paths, wherever you're coming from.
And this is something where you don't have to be an expert to attend. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we're going to gear this class towards everyone. It's going to be very casual yoga. So kind of come as you are. If you happen to be walking by and notice us, join at any time. Our instructor, Nicole, is going to be running it. Very friendly for beginners, explaining lots of the movements, and yeah, just trying to have a good experience for everyone to get out and move their bodies without feeling intimidated.
If people are going to attend this event tomorrow, should they bring anything with them, Joelle?
I would always bring water to any time you're moving, and a towel or a yoga mat would be great. We will have a few spares there with us, but if everyone that's planning to come has their own, that would leave the extras for people who don't have any.
And this is something too that is part of the Participation Challenge. So can you tell me a little bit about how that's connected?
Yeah, so the Participation Challenge runs for the month of June every year. So the Participation is just an organization that's trying to get all Canadians active. So this is actually to become Canada's most active community. This year we're competing in Saskatchewan. So you'll see, if you check the standings online, I think we're about the 6th community in Saskatchewan right now. So we do have some gaining to do. But yeah, we're just trying to throw some events together, get our community aware of the challenge, first of all, and also just trying to get some people active in our community through different events. And we're putting up some ideas for movement on the Service Port Center Facebook page as well every single day.
For the event tomorrow, Joelle, can people bring their kids along with them too? I know that sometimes kids don't quite always get yoga, but would it be considered a family-friendly event?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very casual event. So if kids want to join in, we just ask that you try to keep them kind of out of everyone else's way. But I mean, if they want to do 5 minutes and they get restless, you can carry on with your walk or go to the park. That would be totally acceptable.
So once more, Joelle, before I let you go here, the time of the free yoga event tomorrow, Yoga in the Park, time and location, please.
Yeah, we're going to be in Bud Miller Park at 7 p.m. tomorrow.
All right, Joelle, well, good luck with the event tomorrow, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Now let's take a look at your agriculture prices for today. Let's take a look at your next 3-day forecast for Lloydminster. And we've passed the rainy weather and are on to clear and sunny skies. Tuesday, a little bit of clouds, but a high of 12 and a low of 4. Wednesday, a high of 17 and a low of 6. And Thursday, we're going to see a high of 22 with the least amount of clouds and a low of 8. And that is all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching and have a great night.